Welcome back to Alumni Stadium at Stober Field on the campus of Thiel College. Hugh Ringer at halftime, where the Thomas More Saints are leading the Thiel College Tomcats by a score of 28-7. And ladies and gentlemen, we are indeed very pleased to have a special guest joining us here in the booth. He was just honored a few moments ago down on the field as today's honoree. He's Kevin Hart from the class of 1986 here at Thiel College. He is one of the most dedicated alums in the Thiel College community. He currently is vice president and controller of the National Hockey League's Pittsburgh Penguins. Hart was a 5'10", 170-pound defensive back during his plays at Thiel, or during his playing days at Thiel, and he earned 4 letters as a regular during his career as a Tomcat. He's been the vice president and controller of the Penguins for the last 22 years. Now, in this position, Kevin Hart is responsible for all of the Penguins' accounting and financial reporting, serves as the Penguins' office administrator, and oversees the team's risk management and insurance programs. In addition, Kevin Hart serves as the team's financial liaison with the National Hockey League. Kevin, welcome to the broadcast, and that certainly sounds like a very responsible job on your part. I don't know whether I'd want to deal with all those responsibilities.
Well, thanks for having me, first and foremost. And yeah, it's a long list, but got a good support group, no different than most teams in the league or other professional sports teams, or even out on the football field. Going back to those days, you're one of many that makes the whole thing work.
Mm-hmm. When you come back to this campus, Kevin, I know one of the things you probably do is take a look at how the campus has changed. And you probably noticed when you come back today, I don't know how often you get back, but significant improvements on the Thiel campus, would you say?
For sure. You see all the facility improvements each time you stop by and come through. You see, even today when I walked up to the bookstore, there's a roller and a bulldozer out there moving dirt today as they prepare for the new communication center, I believe it is.
Right.
So, got the new turf here, the lights in. Improvements upon improvements each visit back.
Absolutely. And during your playing days, you played defensive back with the Tomcats. Who was your head coach?
I had 2, but most people will be familiar with Mr. Lyons, who was my first 2 years, I guess, and then Coach Carney on the back end there.
Okay, and do you have a couple of favorite memories wearing the blue and gold of the Tomcats you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, you always keep a couple near and dear to your heart. I know we struggled, my sophomore year, had a tough season, and I can remember going up to Allegheny, our first game my junior year, and us beating Allegheny, and you say hi to the family quickly after the game at the fence line, and I was the last one kind of into the locker room. And when I got into the locker room up at Allegheny, heck had broken loose. One of the dads for the defensive lineman had champagne in there, and they were squirting champagne all over the place. And I'm going, oh my goodness, we just won our first game in a year, and the NCAA is going to steal it from us or take it away from us because we got alcohol in the locker room. But that one really sticks out. The guys really came together the early part of that season to turn things around.
Well, that's great, and I have to ask you, forgive me for doing this, but we talk about your athletic career. In your academic stay here at Thiel, I'm sure you had some outstanding professors, and I think of the guy that everybody talks about in the economics department. You probably know where I'm going here. Dave Miller, a dear friend of mine for probably close to 50 years. I'm sure that you have feelings like many Thiel graduates do about Professor Miller and what he has meant perhaps in your life, considering where you've gone in your career.
Certainly, Professor Miller was, in my mind, very instrumental in me getting into the accounting practice that I got into public accounting. There was a Thiel grad that was with the firm that I ended up going with, Touche Ross at the time, Deloitte & Touche today, Bob Denovi. And I'm certain that Professor Miller made sure that there was a door or two open for me to get an opportunity to meet with Bob and to to interview at that big firm in Pittsburgh. So Professor Miller certainly stands out amongst others. But David Miller, everybody that he touches has nothing but good things to say. And there's not a person you don't bump into when you talk Thiel and accounting that doesn't bring up David Miller's name.
And there aren't too many professors at any college or university who have T-shirts in their name that say beautiful. You probably, I come from his hometown, and I made sure to get one of those, and I wear them when I wear the shirt when I walk throughout the community. A very special person. Something that I'm sure, Kevin, is special to you and your job with the Pittsburgh Penguins is that beautiful state-of-the-art facility in downtown Pittsburgh where the Civic Arena used to sit, the Consol Energy Center. What role did you play in the building's construction?
Well, there's a lot of people that spend a lot of time making sure that the facility is what it is today. My former boss amongst them, for sure, Mr. Sawyer. But our current president, David Morehouse, was very, very influential, working with the political types and the design and construction team. But from my involvement, I went out and visited other arenas with our team, wrote down the things that we thought were important that we needed to bring to our building. And then when it got down and dirty, I reviewed the office layout with the design team specifically, and had some input in some of the other areas, whether it was the suites or the locker room layout, just as a sounding board comment type of guy. But I spent a lot of time on the office layout from the admin side.
Mm-hmm. Now, you have a chance to work with some outstanding hockey people with the Penguins. Everybody knows of Mario Lemieux's involvement. What about the folks that you work with? I'm sure that you could testify to the fact that it's a first-class organization because it has first-class people in the operations department.
Yeah, the old saying goes that the tone is set at the top. Our ownership group with Ron Burkle and Mario Lemieux is second to none. They've decided that they want to make sure that we're first class in almost every aspect of the business, with a lot of focus on the hockey operations side. So their dedication to the team's success on the ice is second to none. Actually, they've probably made some financial commitments that didn't need to be made, but they went ahead and made it that impacted them individually. And then, below Mario and Ron, David Morehouse, Travis Williams, and Ray Sherrow, three guys that are really making things happen for us from the hockey side all the way up to the business community side. So Ron and Mario are blessed to have three operators like that working for them.
And we know Ray Sherrow is very active on trade deadlines. Does he come into your office and lobby a little bit for a little bit of extra money to make that extra move to go out and get a difference-making player?
Well, in the salary cap era, it's kind of defined with a team like ours that's near the cap. So there's not a ton of lobbying for more money because we're pretty close to the cap. But Ray has a direct line to Ron and Mario to say, hey, this is what I want to do. And more often than not, they say, go ahead, pull the trigger, you're good to go. Whether it's a Marion Hossa type of trade that happened a few years ago when we weren't a cap team, to this year this past year with the unique circumstances of the shortened season and us having some extra cap room to go get Jerome, go get Morrow from Dallas, and the other defenseman from San Jose, Douglas Murray as well. Mm-hmm. There's a big financial commitment there, but our ownership group said, Ray, go ahead and do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what championship teams do. You find a way, I guess. Now, we understand the Post-Gazette did a story a couple of years ago, Kevin Hart, class of 86 here at Thiel, that talked about pickup games that the Penguins staff takes part in on game days. You were an athlete here at Thiel. Do you participate in those games? And give us an idea what your stats were like.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough from the front office side to participate with the hockey ops guys. So Coach Dan, Coach Granado, Coach Reardon all played in the league. They get out there. Some of our training staff played college hockey or junior hockey. And I get to sneak out there with them. A good bit of those guys did play pro, so it's really a different level. You think when you watch a game on television or experience live like we are today here at the football game, that you could do that or I could compete there. It's just a different world, and these guys are in their 40s and retired, and the things that they can do. But I'd go out. We go out on game days at lunchtime. Like 1 o'clock-ish. We get out there, go for a tour from 1 to 2. I usually end up playing defense, as Coach Granado would say, with horrible gap because I play way back to the blue line. But I get a couple touches in there, and most of the guys are understanding that I didn't play this game as a youngster like they did or professional like they did, and they're respectful and they assist you. But for most of us that we're former athletes, there's nothing like putting the gear on and playing with the guys.
All in good fun then.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. We're with Kevin Hart, class of 1986, here at Thiel College, the vice president and controller of the Pittsburgh Penguins in the National Hockey League. Kevin, today's honoree. One final question. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you. The Penguins are off to a good start, and of course we know Sidney Crosby is very healthy right now, and as Sid goes, pretty much so go the Pens along with Jenny Malkin. Is this the year when the Pens might get another ring on your finger like the one you are sporting here today?
Well, I would hope that the guys could do that, and I could ride along for it. It's a long season. As you alluded to, injuries play a big role in our game today, our game being the NHL, because of the salary cap restrictions you have. We like the team we have. Ray, mixed a couple new ingredients into the pot, but our core players, Sid, Malkin, Fleury, Letang, Martin, they're any team would want to have those guys play for their organization. We're gonna want to try to get through these 82 regular season games and get into the playoffs. And then I like our chances when you have some of the best players in the world on your team and a good goalkeeper.
Absolutely. Well, I think we all like the Penguins' chances, Kevin Hart. The teams are coming back out on the field. We'd like to continue, but football must go on. I hope you've enjoyed your day here as a special honoree on Parents' Day at Thiel College. Come back to see us again. I don't know whether it's safe to say that you and Pitt Chancellor Dr. Mark Nordenberg are the two most famous Pittsburgh alums of Thiel College, but I'll bet that's pretty doggone close. Rod Wilt might want to be in on that equation too.
I saw him the other night at the Penguin game, actually.
He was here on the airwaves with us last week. Kevin Hart, you do a great job, obviously, behind the scenes. Nothing's more important than keeping the books balanced, and you have that great job with the Penguins. It's a job that anybody in economics would probably dream to have. We thank you for stopping by, and we wish you the best of luck.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me, and go Cats in the second half here.
Absolutely. Kevin Hart, class of 1986. The controller of the Pittsburgh Penguins in the National Hockey League, joining us as a very special guest at halftime. We'll take this 1-minute break and be back for the start of the third quarter here on News Talk 790 WPIC.